Well, Nina here. Happy July 1st when I'm filming this. It is the first day of July, and so that means I have a little bit of a June book wrap up. I read 8 books in June, some like physical books and then a few audiobooks as well. So I figured I'd just go through and like rapid fire review. Some of these I've already talked about on my channel, so I'll go through those a little more quickly. And the last book I read in June, technically I finished it in July because I finished it at like midnight last night, but I'm counting it for June, was Notes from a Small Island, which is Tove, which I found is Tove Jansson. And that was the last one I read. And so I figured I would just go through and do a quick little June book wrap up. The first ones I read in June I'll put here somewhere next to me. But the first ones I read in June were from the Murderbot series, and I read the second and third one. I'm currently reading the fourth one, but I read the second and third installment in the Murderbot series. If you don't know, the Murderbot series is about a rogue sec unit, like a robot essentially, that takes over its control and can like think for itself instead of being government controlled. And the series is really good. It's funny, and I don't know, I just really like it. I've been listening to the audiobook, and there's like an immersive audiobook which is really cool, so it has like different elements of like ship sounds, and I don't know, it just makes it, they call it like a movie inside your head. It's just really cool, and so I've been listening to the immersive audiobook. I just really love the series. If you like kind of sci-fi-esque genre, then I feel like you'll really like it. It's really funny. They're short, so there is a fast read, but yeah, I really like them. So the Murderbot series is what I've been reading wherever I put it, or listening to. I've listened to the audiobook. So that was the first one. I read the second and third one, and I'm on the fourth. The next one, I read, I think this is the next order, is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. I had started this because I was like, I kind of just wanted to know like what it was about, and then I read like 4 chapters and I was like, I really like this. It is really sad. And so this I absolutely loved, like 10 out of 10, would really recommend reading it. You might be able to find it at your library. They had it at my library, but it was a million-year wait, so I borrowed this. This is my mom's copy. I borrowed this, and it is so good and so sad. And it's about tuberculosis, and it follows different people's stories and their struggles with it and getting the right treatment. And essentially tuberculosis is treatable and people don't have to be dying from it, but there's not the access to medication. They're purposely making it more expensive or what have ya. And because this is affecting poor people in poor communities, they don't really care, and it's just really sad. And I love John Green for talking about this and bringing light to this, and this book is amazing. I would really recommend it. So that was the next one I read. This made me cry. Yeah, very good. It's really important that we are learning about this, especially having someone like Donald Trump in office who is awful. The next one I read, I don't remember what order. I'm just gonna go, I don't remember what order I read these in. Was Black Girl Call Home. This is a book of poetry, and this is really good. It's, again, sad. I feel like all the books I've read are like quite sad, but maybe that was just the June mood. But this is Black Girl Call Home, and it's just a bunch of poetry about Jasmine Mans and like her life and being basically black and queer in America. And this is really, really good. One of my favorite poems is, she talks about Michelle Obama, and it made me cry. I think it's, I'll tell you, Dear First Lady. And it's a poem for Michelle Obama about her 4-year-old cousin wanting to be Michelle Obama and like being inspired by her. It made me cry. This is so good. Would recommend. Again, poetry, so it's not super long, but it's really well written and really, really well done. So this is Black Girl Call Home. Again, really, really loved it. So there's that one. The next one I read was the summer book, which is Tove Jansson. I have a whole video about this because I read this for midsummer and I thought it was a good like midsummer book. And I have an entire video dedicated to it. The last one on my channel is dedicated to this book and how much I loved it because I love her writing and I loved this book. And so I absolutely love this. I thought it was like a bunch of different stories, but it turns out it follows a girl named Sophia and her grandma and her dad on a small island in Finland and their summer adventures essentially. This is again a shorter read, but so good. I would recommend it. It's like the perfect summer read because it literally just follows them through summertime and I loved it. And I also read or listened to yesterday, the one that I listened to that I finished before technically at midnight, but by June, was Notes from a Small Island, and that's also Tove Jansson. And that one follows her literal notes about living on a tiny island in Finland and living by the sea and her like experience with living from the island, and she drew inspiration from living there for like the summer book, and some of the characters in like her actual like on the actual island she put into the summer book and just like renamed them, which I think is kind of fun. And so this one is inspired by her actual life in Notes on a Small Island, which is really good. Notes on a Small Island I will put here. I listened to yesterday. It's again a shorter read, like I think the audiobook was maybe 3 hours, but it's really good and it talks about her life on the island up until she was 70 with her partner Tuti, and their life living there and the different people that came and helped and what have you, and fishing, and like it's just great. It's again like another summer read and spending their summers there. I really loved it and it made me cry. I feel like all these books are kind of like sad, but it's in the beginning, but it travels like her whole kind of like experience on the island, but then it ends up with her being too old to be on the island. I think she's in like her 70s, so she has to leave it, and like leaving it behind for other people, like other fishermen and other people to like visit, and it's just really like a heartwarming story, but like also kind of sad. I really loved it. Another good summer book. And then the next one I read is We Are Displaced by Malala, and I have read I Am Malala like years ago, and so I figured I would read this one as well. And this is, I feel like, a very important read in 2025 with Trump's disgusting, horrible immigration policy that he's been enacting, and how awful ICE are being. This is a story that follows a bunch of different refugees and displaced people from their homes and families, displaced families, because of either war or it's all because of war, like uprising or like terrible situations that they've been put in. and it follows them and how hard their life is to have to deal with this and then have to be displaced and relocate because they literally have no choice and they want to live in their homes but they can't. So it's a really important read in 2025 especially. Again, not super long, but it's really interesting to hear the different stories. So there's that one. I'll put that here. The last book I read was The Lore of Olympus, and that follows Hades and Persephone and basically their story. The one I'm on right now I think is volume 8, and it has to deal with Persephone's punishment for the things that she's done and like the chaos she caused, and it kind of follows the like unraveling of the underworld and her having to be away from Hades, and it's really good. I've been reading it on Webtoon. You can get like physical books, but I've just been reading like the ebook, like graphic novel I guess it is, and I really love it. It's really good. So there's that one. I don't want to say too much without like spoiling it if you haven't read it, but yeah, it's essentially the story of Hades and Persephone. Yeah. So those are all the books that I've read. Ooh, this one's backwards. Those are all the books that I've read in June. I loved all of them. There wasn't a miss, which is always great, and they were all really, 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 really good. Yeah, I really loved all of these. If you want, I have more of like an in-depth review on the summer book on my channel, so if you want, I'll put that at the end. You can watch that. And Midsummer. So those are all the books I've read in June. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you've been reading in June and what books you read, and maybe what books I should read for July, because I'm deciding. I'm not sure what books I want to read for July, so if you have suggestions I would love that. And yeah, I love you all, and I hope you have a great weekend. As always, free Palestine. They still desperately need aid. I will have all that linked in my bio below, so you can check it all out. I love you all, and I will see you next Friday with a brand new video. Bye!